Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's class.
Howdy.
Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Hey, Terrence.
Hello, Megan. Hi, everybody.
Hello. How many of you are popping over from the challenge? It's going live right now. Day one. Welcome, welcome. Okay, let me open up the room so that people can keep coming on in. Thank you guys for being here. So this is our Monday community class. We go over different AI tools with you every week. Chris Lannon is here with me. He's going to actually be your instructor for today. In just a moment, I'm going to share my screen and kind of walk you through our community space and a little bit about Chris. But I want to let you know that you can join our community at this link that I'm dropping in the chat right now. And let me go ahead and share my screen. And I guess I should also introduce myself. My name is Megan. I am the community coordinator. I am probably one of the newest people on this call. So if you haven't seen me before, hello, it's nice to meet you. And this is a little bit about what our community looks like. So it's very robust. We have a lot of different community members that contribute in a lot of different ways. There's a group of people who have gone through our Chief AI Officer certification program, and Chris is one of those people. So one of the other cool things is that there are certain members after they've gone through our certification program that become mentors, and Chris is one of those mentors. So when you join our community, you have access to a board of leaders here that you can lean on. So as you're navigating the AI world and you're bringing that into your business and to other businesses around you, you don't have to navigate that alone. We have a whole team of people here who are available to support you and are ready and willing to meet with you to answer your questions. So if you do click that link that I dropped in the chat, you can sign up for a 14-day trial of our community. And you can poke around here. You get access to our classes for 14 days. On Mondays and Fridays, we do stream live. So you can catch these in our Facebook group or on our Facebook page. But we have classes every single day of the week. And Chris actually leads our Thursday class where he goes over how to create different AI workflows. They're very powerful. There's a lot of contribution that happens inside of our community space. So if you've been dipping your toes into the world of AI, you're not sure where to go or what to do with it, this is a great place to be to kind of just suss out like what your options are and how you want to develop that within your career path. There's a lot of really wonderful people here doing a variety of different things. So once you're in the community, up here under our events tab is where you can find all of our upcoming classes and links to access them. You can see this. Right now, we have our AI challenge going on live. We're in our AI-powered productivity tools and techniques. And then tonight, we have an AI governance class. So that's a member of the community, which it's very important because like as you're implementing these things, you need to know the legalities of how to navigate what you're advising your clients to do. So we really try to cover all of the bases that you need within our classes and the conversations happening here. I think that covers the community space. The other thing that I wanted to mention is the podcast. So every week we have a new podcast called Using AI at Work. I'll drop this link in the chat in just a moment too. So you can subscribe on whatever platform you listen to podcasts. But this week we had Carl Liah, and it was a very interesting conversation. One of the things that stood out to me the most is that Carl was talking about how he does business with AI locally. So you might consider that using AI means that you're doing digital marketing, that you're out there in the online world, and that's where you're getting most of your sales. But he actually speaks to making more sales by doing this type of work in his local community. And he specializes in bringing AI into traditional businesses like construction, and flooring and real estate. So that's an awesome episode that came out this week if you want to catch it. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Did you guys hear all of that okay? I can see my internet is being a little laggy. Yes? Good? Okay.
You're kind of choppy, but the voice is clear.
Okay,
But
good.
the
Well,
video
I'll just look AI animated and robotic as long as you can hear what I'm saying, I'm okay with that. It's stormy here, and so it has been affecting my internet today. Okay, so I just dropped the podcast link in the chat, and I'm going to hand it over to Chris so that he can dive into what he's going to be walking you guys through today.
All right, let me share my screen here. So what I'm covering today, a lead generation tool called Clay, and it's AI lead generation that aggregates a bunch of research tools together to help you research leads and do cold outreach. So basically you would import a lead list. They actually have the whole example here on their webpage. You'd import a lead list. You can also build a lead list in the platform. Then you enrich your leads with either AI or whatever data providers that they have. So they have over 100 plus data providers. And then you can plug it into ChatGPT. You can use a AI research agent, go out and scrape the web to pull in information about various companies or people. And then you can scale your personalized outreach by personalizing your outreach with AI tools. So if you're doing cold outreach, you can have certain sections of your emails be enriched with AI. And then basically you build all this inside of a table inside of Clay, and then you export that to whatever your CRM system is or whatever your email outreach system is. And then this is what it looks like inside. But let me do this real quick. Just run through this. So I basically describe what Clay is and kind of how an overview of how it works. They've got 75 plus data resources and they're all aggregated. So as you're going through the platform, you can find companies, you build a list of companies, and then from that list, you build a list of people at those companies, and you can set criteria based on what those people do at the company, what their positions are. Just about anything that you can find about that person online, you can find with this. So then you create your custom data sets and you export them to your CRM. And from that, you can create your email campaigns. So the tools are web scraping. So there are tools that scrape LinkedIn or other social media platforms. It'll pull in PDFs if it encounters a PDF during the scraping, and it extracts all the information from the PDF. And of course, it'll search Google to gather information about prospects that are in your list. So you create the list, you perform data enrichment, and then you can export that to your CRM system. You can do that manually, and there's some integrations built in. And then you personalize your messaging with AI. So there's 10 plus built-in prospecting sources. You can import your CSV from your existing lead list so you'd export that to your CRM and into this, and then you can enrich the data, or you can even do data formatting with AI during that process. Some of this is like really repetitive. So obviously you can save time, you can target based on your criteria to find your ideal customer profile and match the list in your research to that profile. The biggest thing is time savings, and you're not wasting time just blasting your email list to people that don't matter, or the people that aren't going to respond to your email outreach. And then there's a little bit about compliance. It's GDPR compliant, CCPA compliant. And then let me go over this smart cut, and I'll put this in the chat here.
Yes, and in just a moment after Chris goes over the smart cut, we'll take some questions because there are some popping in the chat. And then later on, there's also going to be a demo of how to use Clay. But this has been a great overview so far, Chris.
Okay.
Chris,
So-
can you go to the previous slide? I didn't see what was the compliance slide? The one, yeah. Can you
So see-
elaborate on to what extent is this, generally speaking, kind of address what would be a typical environment? I mean, is this across the sections? Like, I don't see HIPAA. I don't see some, but do you have an idea of what range of secure and compliant platforms or standards this is meeting? Do you know or not? This is just what
I
they
don't.
provide.
I imagine that they have it's related to their data storage,
Okay.
which I'm not. So like I'm not familiar how you would go about siloing data in terms of compliance, but basically that's the general terms of the compliance for their data storage. Whatever those regulations are, I'm not sure. So there's a smart cut link to the smart cut that I provided in the chat. Basically, it's going to show you how to set up an account with Clay, and you can set up a free account with Clay and get so many credits per month. I think it's 2,000 credits per month. And a credit is basically a step for each contact or each row in a table that you're going to perform. So I'll show you how that works in a minute. But so you can create your free account. You want to set up a GPT-4 account as well. So that's the paid GPT Plus that you pay $20 a month for. And then you want to link the accounts. You can either use the built-in GPT-4 functionality within Clay, or you can use your API key for GPT-4. So if you want to use, you can either use their integration or your own to save on credits. So you want to set up your preferences in Clay, install any browser extensions. I have the browser extension up here and I haven't actually used it. So I'm not sure exactly how to use that yet.
And this is all in the smart cut, Chris?
Yeah, so you want to go in and create your free account. Just go to the website, click on sign up, enter your details, and then verify your email address. Can you guys see that okay?
Yes.
And then in the demo, when I do the demo, I'm going to actually use this prompt. You want to create your ideal company profile using this prompt, and that's what you're going to use to generate the criteria that you're going to use to find companies in Clay. And then we're going to create a table to find companies in Clay using that criteria. And then we click on find companies. It's going to populate a companies table like this. You'll see when I do the demo. And then from that companies table, you're going to want to do the same thing for customers. You're going to want to find customers that work at those companies given a criteria. And you're going to use this in ChatGPT to find the criteria for your ideal customer profile. So these are people that work at the companies that you just found. And so this right here is the companies table, and you just basically click on find people, enter the criteria, and then you get a list of people. And then in order to find their email, you basically add enrichment to that table of people, and it will go out and scrape the web and find their email based on LinkedIn profile, full name, and what's the other criteria? Oh, company domain. So it's these three: work email, full name, company domain, LinkedIn profile.
Is this from the Clay, or did you create this? Where's this deck at?
This is the smart cut that is lead magnet for Chief AI Officer.
Well, so different question. So this is actually in that smart cut, this PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the smart cut.
Thank you.
And then once you find the list of those people, this is actually a little different. You're going to want to export I guess it does say download it CSV. But you export the CSV file of all those people that you found with the enrichments that you've added, which is the at least you want to have their email address, right? But then you can get the title from the LinkedIn profile, the summary of their job description, whatever's in their LinkedIn profile. You can take that and create personalized outreach sequences that would go in your email or sections. So here's some frequently asked questions that are in the SmartCut. It integrates with other CRM tools. I mentioned the cost on credits. It depends on how you use it. So like if you use GPT-4, you can save a lot of money by just using your API key. And then just basic security practices on protecting your password. And that's basically the SmartCut. Okay, I think we can take questions now.
Yeah, Nicole, do you want to ask your question since you had your hand raised? And then I know Jonathan had a question as well.
Yeah, Chris, what is the competitors that you've seen out there to Clay? And I have someone interested in any experience you have around CEOs and gathering their contact information. I know it probably could be difficult, but those are my two questions. Clay's competitors, and then high level contact scraping, and which tools are possibly the best for that, if any.
So I haven't done a whole lot of data enrichment, so I'm not familiar with like all the different competitors, but I can tell you that in this demo, I can show you how to target based on position. So like you can target VPs, CEOs, whatever you want to target, you can target in your list.
Got it. So it has that capability. So that's awesome. Like, you know, you might just want the IT director. You might want human resources based on what you're saying that Clay can do that, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know Clay's competitors out there right now?
I don't, but we can go into Perplexity
isn't
real quick.
HubSpot and Einstein the two other ones?
Upside and Einstein.
Yeah.
Anyone have feedback on either of those two? Chris, do you like Clay?
From what I've found so far, yes. I haven't actually used it for my own business.
I think a true competitor would be D&B Hoovers.
There's tons of, I just want to say that list of people who do this that you can pay big bucks to is as long as your arm. There are literally hundreds of them.
Apollo's the big one that I've heard of.
Apollo.
I'm not familiar with any of these others.
You know, like it just maybe for Megan is like it's so awesome to see all these tools, but I feel like I love this community and I trust. Like if Chris said, I really like Apollo over Clay, but here's another option, then I'd be like, I'm going to probably listen to Chris.
Yeah.
And it would be awesome to kind of have like, who likes what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Chris is leading this demonstration based on our team's request. So it's not because he was like, this is a tool that I love and I'm going to demonstrate it. It was more that we had the SmartCuts developed from our team. And so I asked if he would be comfortable leading a demonstration on it. But I'll take note of that and work into future presentations where we do have some kind of comparison for what tools, you know, are similar to the ones that we're working through, and maybe some of the pros and cons of each so that we can just have some comparison along the way.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Thanks.
From personal experience, Nicole, I think at your level, I think D&B Hoovers would be one to look at. The other would be Axiom, because you're with a pretty big organization. You're going to want, you know, really good up-to-date data, I would imagine. So those would be the two that I personally have experience with, currently using D&B.
Got it. Thanks. I'm trying to get out of that, Andrew. That's why I'm here.
But
yeah, Andrew, I would agree with you
on
on D&B for a larger organization.
Yeah, for sure. For larger organizations, and like Jonathan's right. I mean, there's, you know, thousands of companies that are taking that data and spinning up, solutions, right, that are specifically for niches. But yeah, those two would be the biggest. I mean, because they're the biggest data aggregators out there right now. I mean, Axiom's the biggest, right?
Well, I know also that from my past, we used to do DMB, and ABI, American Business, and all that. And as I remember, this is a long time ago. They also had custom kind of boutique brokers, depending on obviously the data set that you might want unique to an industry. But
exactly,
gosh, it's been so long since I've looked at it. I don't even know who those players are. So I suspect there's plenty of data sources. You just got to track it down. I do have one question, and you said, of course, from your vantage point, Chris, you haven't really worked with the tool enough to offer commentary on the practicality of the tool. I mean, I think one comment that was made by Nicole was just, the trust factor and kind of taking direction from like which path we want to go down based on not only capabilities from the tool, but level of complexity to try to actually implement it. Because Clay, as I've looked into, it's a fantastic tool. But I would say almost every conversation I've had, unless I'm, talking to the giants, meaning the guys that are really high end, it's a little bit of an expensive proposition to configure it, set up. So I think, you're obviously find out firsthand for yourself, but that's a caution I had about looking at Clay. And then I thought, well, wait a minute, isn't Clay one of those tools that if you're scraping LinkedIn sort of triggers the hello, somebody's in here doing some automated stuff, or is that kind of under the radar of that to whatever degree that you're familiar with?
I don't know how they get around with the various providers, how they get around not being detected by LinkedIn. The interface I know is, if you're not familiar with the database interface, tables and how they relate to one another, it can be confusing. But traditionally, I'm not sure. I know that what makes this special is the AI integration. I know that the other tools have been around for a long time, but I don't know if they actually they have AI built in, generative AI. And as far as the cost, I'm not too sure of the cost. I've just been using the free credits and doing small data sets. I can imagine that. I mean, there's all kinds of enhancements you can add that would add to the cost, and you're adding to the cost per contact. So you're right. I think it can get pretty expensive.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd also point out that a lot of these tools are really optimized for doing outreach at scale. So unless you're spooling up your dozens of domains that you're cycling through in combination with your outreach, it's challenging to get a lot of value from it unless that's your focus.
Yeah, it's a numbers game, right? You want to use like Google Workspace with throwaway domains so that you're not hurting your domain authority.
Yeah.
So basically the process you want to go through is you want to find data, enrich that data, transform it with the enhancements, and then export it.
We have one more question from Jonathan before we move into the next stage. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I think it kind of got answered that we don't really know what the real cost is if you want to scrape a whole bunch of stuff. So I think it got answered. Thank you. I just forgot to lower it.
And then credit basics. So I can show you basically as you add enhancements, you're using credits, and there's ways to see how much credit you're using. And then you're using credits on API integrations. And there's the credit calculator here. You can go to this page to determine cost. Let me put that in the link in the and there's a credit calculator. So you can run an analysis based on this calculator. So let me jump into it. So like in the Smart Cut, we created a new table, or this is what the Smart Cut's going to run you through, and you're going to find companies. Let me run this prompt that's in the Smart Cut. I'm just going to use the example that's in the Smart Cut. I'm going to go to ChatGPT, and this is the prompt that's in the Smart Cut. It's for Echo Gizmo Tech Solutions. It's in the sustainable technology niche, and they have an Eco Smart Home Hub. And it's intelligent home automation system for monitoring automation, remote control functionalities, and eco-friendly alerts. So basically, we're going to use this prompt to generate the criteria to find a company. So it's got industries, excluded industries, company size, company type, specific states, and then if you want to exclude specific markets, you can do that. And then we're going to use these keywords. Let me take this over here so I can copy it. So I wish I could type in for industries. There's renewable energy. I can't actually, I can't just cut and paste a kind of delimited list, and some of them aren't in there.
And you're working in Clay right now?
Yeah, this is in Clay. So I'm going to find companies and it'll populate a table of those companies. So real estate is one. Energy management. Guess we can use that one. HVAC.
Are you overriding the available ones that are meeting? Does it have the ability to kind of add your own, or you have to stay with their list?
I have to stay with their list, which is kind of frustrating because I like to be able to cut and paste this commented delimited list here, but I can't. Building management, building construction. So I'm looking for green building construction, but it's not there. And then to exclude, they're saying advertising, retail, gambling, tobacco, alcohol.
Are you keystroking those in based on the ChatGPT, meaning, the exclusions and the exclusions? Is that where that's coming from?
Yeah.
Okay.
So non-green industries is what it wants here, but I don't see it listed. We want 11 to 500 employees. Whoops. We want privately held, publicly held, and a partnership. And then for keywords, I can cut and paste in here. Exclude keywords. I don't have that. Go with United States. We'll go with
keyword again, it didn't take it.
California. Let's just do California. What was that? Keyword?
Yeah, it didn't take your keywords. I think it just have to be something here to select that thing.
Yeah, I looked into built with on this, Chris. They're using Sales Navigator integration. They don't have a direct API, but they're using Sales Navigator for Clay.
Oh, okay. So I have a 1,000 record max search. I'm just going to do 100. Let's see what we get.
And this is all in the free version.
Yeah, I'm on free credits right now. So here's a bunch of companies I want to import to a new table. And then I can choose enrichments here when I import, and those are going to cost me credits. So I'll go ahead and do this. Then I'm going to save and run this.
Where is it pulling the data from? LinkedIn?
Whatever data providers they use.
Oh, Clay. So this is straight through Clay. This is a data provider in Clay. Okay.
Right.
So it actually has its own data, I guess, source, so to speak.
I think it's scraping the web.
Yeah.
When you start enriching, when you start looking for people at those companies, that's when you start trying to find email addresses, that's when it starts using different providers, and it waterfalls through those different providers based on whether or not it found an email address using the first provider in the list. So it's found all these companies. It's got a LinkedIn URL. It's got a domain. And then from there, we want to find people at these companies. And then I've got a criteria for that. Let me bring that prompt, ChatGPT prompt in so you can see it. Bear with me. Great. So it's basically the same company, but I'm looking for people.
I really think it's only getting it from LinkedIn, guys.
What has you thinking that, Andrew? What do you see?
Just how it's built. It's only using LinkedIn Navigator to pull data. There's no other API integrations into their stack. Like, you know, like you'd think they would hit like a big database like, you know, DMB or Axiom or something like that on the enterprise level, but it looks like it's just Sales Navigator. So I'm wondering if you could pull this off with just LinkedIn Sales Navigator and then building out a workflow for this, Chris, and accomplishing the same thing, dude.
Yeah, so that's probably how they're obviously not getting in trouble for doing the scraping, because they're using the API for LinkedIn, right? So here's the criteria for the ideal customer, right? So we're going to get people from these companies, and then so we can find owners, C-suite, VP, direct, and that's include past experiences. Let me put that in here. So we can do owner, partner, C-suite, VP. Let's do director for the hell of it. And then include past experiences. We want to include job titles.
But there's past experiences you have turned off.
Oh, there we go.
Which is.
What is that? Job experience?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if somebody had the CEO position or the VP position, but isn't there anymore, you're going to get them anyway.
No, we're just going to
including their past position.
I'm not sure if that's include past experiences in the criteria or if that's include it in the output. I guess that is the criteria there, but in the Smart Cut it's saying yes, include it. So we'll just include it. And I'm only going to pull up 100 people, so it doesn't take forever. So here I've got a bunch of people with their LinkedIn URL. I'm going to go ahead and import into a new table. And then I can go find their work email, and it's going to use this tech stack. So this waterfall of data providers, it'll go through one at a time.
Wow.
And if it doesn't find it on the first one, it'll go through the rest of them. So I'm going to go ahead and enable that. Save and run.
We're the data providers in Clay, right?
No,
Yeah.
I think they're partners, are they not? They're not Clay. They're actually partners with Clay. They scrub the data more.
So there's the various data providers.
I'm thinking they would be consuming some of your tokens, so to speak, or maybe that's inside of the actual. I guess you'd have to do something start to finish to see the total count.
The more it uses, so like this one is going to use more credits than these because they were found first, and then we didn't have to go to the second one.
So this is actually finding the primary email. That's pretty amazing. That's like the biggest heartburn I see on LinkedIn. Nobody puts their business email, or few do. And I had one question. The Sales Navigator, the observation that Andrew raised about it looked like it was just going into LinkedIn. If that be the case, the underlying assumption would be that you have a Navigator account, which is about $100 a month. And I think we had a gentleman do a presentation, something of similar nature to that, kind of an alternative to Navigators a couple weeks back. I'm wondering if that might be a better choice of tool if you're trying to save $30 a month. Do you remember that
Was it the
presentation
one
a couple
with
weeks back?
Wayne? Was it the one with Wayne and it was like a tool that you got from the library?
Yeah, and it was a
Oh,
little
yeah.
it was a little clunky, but it was, good enough
Mhm.
for at least the broad strokes. And I believe you're correct. Yeah, it was a fellow that
Yeah.
Indian
If Kim
gentleman.
is here, I know she remembered the name. She had shared
Yeah,
the
it
link.
was
It's
A to
A to
Z.
A to
I would,
Z.
yeah.
Thank you.
But so I sent out to A to Z on the trial to get approved, and they never wrote back to me. And neither did my library. So A to Z seems a little clunky to me. I tried to get in there and use it. I tried a couple different ways to get at it. I never got anywhere with it. So maybe you have to go to the library and they have a terminal there that has it logged in or something.
Jonathan, you just uncovered an opportunity. That's a little nugget right there. To build out a solution for the public sector, for the libraries like this. If they don't have it, you know what I mean?
Ding, ding, ding.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought someone posted that Michigan, if you use the
Yeah.
Michigan library.
I'm in Michigan, and you just go in there. Furman, Steve's on here somewhere. I gave it to him too. I'll post in the chat. Let me go grab it.
Where in Michigan are you, Kim?
Grand Rapids, but
Oh, I grew up in Birmingham.
oh, okay,
I was born in Pontiac.
got it. But yeah, the Michigan A to Z lets you get it for free. So I'll put it in just let me find it really quick.
Sweet. Because I sent a note to the library and they never wrote back. So maybe you have to go in person or something.
So once you have a list,
So I
at
had to go to a library outside of my city, and then I'm able to access it online. However, within 30 days of signing up for that library card, I had to go down to the Newport Beach Library and show my proof of residency in California. So
Welcome
What
to
was that,
California.
Terrence? I'm in Mission Viejo. Are you in Newport?
no, I'm actually in Riverside, but Riverside didn't offer the A to Z anymore. So I had to sign up actually I went on ChatGPT and I said, find libraries that have free A to Z subscriptions. And the first one on the list was Newport. I was able to get a library card online and access A to Z instantaneously. And then within 30 days, I went down and showed them my proof of residency in California. And now I have access to A to Z and it's free.
What's the acronym for A or the website, guys? Anybody have that? Because I don't have that one.
I just put in the chat
Okay,
the
thank you.
search A to Z databases. It'll take you to the Michigan site.
Thank you.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
at this-
Matt, I like that. We'll start out at your place. You'll put some breakfast together, and we'll come over and eat your food.
And use your A to Z.
Yeah.
Your library card.
You don't even need to have a library card. You just go in here. You can do it for free.
I'm going to add some enrichment here.
You don't need your ID to vote, but you'll need it for your A to Z.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm
And
picking
they're saying if
use.
you want to speed, do it on voting day. When they ask you for your license registration, you say, I'm waiting to vote, I don't need an ID.
Thank you guys for sharing that resource. We have about 15 minutes left, so I want to let Chris finish his demonstration so we have time to wrap it up before the call.
So let me show you what I was doing here. I'm going to add enrichment here to a new column. I'm going to use AI for that. And then I'm going to select a model. So I'll choose GPT-4o Mini. And then for the prompt, say I want to create a greeting for an email. I can just say.
And this is in Clay, not in Chat
this part's
GPT.
cool. Yeah, this is in Clay. So this is what he was saying, that if you had your own GPT API, you could reduce costs. This would be the part.
So hit a slash here, and I'm going to say, so write a catchy greeting for an email to this person, to his person.
This part's really cool.
I'm going to use the LinkedIn profile. So it's going to I think it's going to go scrape the LinkedIn profile. And then I can say, why can't I add? It's not letting me add.
Type @ symbol right after that. See what happens.
I'm just going to say, use the following LinkedIn profile.
Showed it right there.
There we go. And job title. And then I'm going to say, you are an expert copywriter. And then I can actually try it here without running on all of them.
How many are in the data set? Do you see the total comp by chance?
I have, well, the response was 100 because that's what I minimized it at or maximized it at. And then it would only allow me to do enhancements on 50 of those. So this gives us an example of it created the subject and then it personalized the greeting and it's using their title and whatever's in their LinkedIn profile. I'm going to go ahead and use this and see. I'm going to go ahead and just run it on 10 rows. So it created the subject and the greeting. Your impressive journey as director truly stands out, and I'm eager to connect and explore some exciting possibilities.
Sounds like AI.
So,
especially the exciting part.
Yeah, you'll have to
edit it.
Get fancy with the prompting. From here, once you have this table, and you can just export it by exporting to CSV.
Andrew, I see it has a direct link for Salesforce there. Kind of cool.
Yeah, you can go directly to HubSpot, Salesforce, Smart Lead, Sheets, and then you got CRMs here. There's HubSpot and Salesforce again. I guess those are just the shortcuts. Databases, Airtable's nice, and then directly into whatever email you're using. I've heard of Instantly and Smart Lead. I'm not familiar with these others. HeyReach, I guess. And so now I have
holy smokes.
I have exported data that I can pull into an automation or whatever CRM I want to use.
So you could take this into Make too and kind of do your own email campaign or whatever. You have the data. Okay, cool. That's really cool.
And then I would use a Make automation to import into Go High Level because that's what I use for my email campaigns, which use Mailgun as well. That's it. So some resources. So over here, once you get into Clay, you can go over to Clay University. There's video guides on how to do everything. And actually, I went through a couple of these and I got down to the formulas and stuff. And I was like, wow, this is really powerful. And that's the 101. If you go through the 101, I think you'll be impressed with what you can do and probably what you can pay.
Did you see anything on the site that, I mean, of course, I think it defeats the purpose of selling, but where there was a, say, representative campaign as an example that somebody could use as a context, we'll do a campaign, blah, blah, blah. This was the use case. This is what it cost. Did you see anything like that?
I haven't. But I wanted to show you a shortcut too, real quick. So there's this AI for sales prospecting. So this is like a prompting guide. And it'll show you like how to do the prompting and then, for generating email campaigns. So all this documentation over here on the right, if you go through that, you'll probably find your example in there. Yeah, but also there's this workbook thing. So instead of just creating a table and having tables all over the place, you can create a workbook. And then if I go find people yeah, cold outreach to people at companies, which is what we just did. There's an automation that basically walks you through. I don't know if this isn't an automation. It's just a guide that walks you through everything that we just did. So if I go to find companies, I can configure it. It brings me right into the criteria. And then I can open that, and then same with find people. And you just basically do that step by step. And that's exactly what we just did. So
It looked like it was scraping Google Maps. I had that option, right?
yeah, this one.
Yeah,
Find
look at
people
that.
from businesses on Google Maps.
So it has integration there, or something's going on.
Huh, this is weird. It didn't have any criteria. So I'm not sure how that would work.
I shared a link in chat, so there's some templates you can use as well. Oh, you see it right there. There's a link.
Find people at company lookalikes. That's an interesting one. I wonder if this is based on people that you already have. Ocean.io. Does anybody use that?
Just caution on the lookalike audiences. If you have a broad target, it'll work. But if you have a super, targeted niche, it usually starts giving you too broad of results. So it's useless.
Okay. And that's
This is cool.
basically all I have.
Great job. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you, bud. Always some nuggets.
Yeah.
Yes, that was awesome.
Bonuses and raises for Chris. Oh, wait. That's right. We'll
you,
take
you like Reese's peanut butter cups, Chris?
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, I'll send you a bag.
We'll work for cups.
Chris, this is Rajiv. A quick question. So this is the free subscription you've been using, right? So how many credits have you used so far after pulling all this data?
Let me look. Hang on a second. I gotta log back in. So you get 1,000 biweekly credits, and I've used 419 of them from all the different tests and stuff that I've done with small data sets this weekend.
So what you're saying is you get free credit every week?
Biweekly. You get 1,000 credits every other week.
And what's the primary? I mean, is it a subscription and then with a variable component, or is it just, get your prescription? This is what we give you. And the end of the day, if you go over, you go to the next level.
There are different plans that give you so many credits, and obviously the more you pay, the cheaper the credit.
As well as more variables and features.
Pretty good stuff. Let me just add this one to my list. I don't know. I got nothing to do this afternoon.
And are you using more features and credits? Yeah, mute.
What's that?
Andrew, are you using more of the features and credits?
On this?
Yeah.
I haven't even tried this. This is the first time I've heard of this.
By the way, I put a guy in there that
that Hoover's link that's what we've been using.
Does it have AI integrations?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It claims to, yeah.
Yeah. But, we still clean a lot of it. We clean it when we get it out. Because like what you're seeing with some of the data is you'll get like the user at the domain. You want to scrub all that because it's just what they used for like maybe registering the domain. So what was really cool, they have that logic built in to Clay already. That's what I noticed. So that's how they're providing that username. So they're probably getting a huge batch of data. And then from that, they're the ones that have the unique email addresses. Those are the ones that it'll provide. But anything that has user, admin, things that start like that, you don't want any of those. That's just going to go to some inbox that's never monitored or spam, right?
They actually automatically by default check the debounce on those email addresses too.
That's cool too. That's
in the smart cut.
Cool.
It shows that as an option in the smart cut, but it's actually a default that you don't have to select now.
Yeah, see,
of course
a lot
they
of that
charge
is
you a
manual
credit.
labor. Yeah, but that's all manual labor that you'd have to take from one thing into another and go figure. It's just having simplicity all in one platform, there's value there for sure. Good job, Chris. I appreciate it.
Sure.
I would point out though that because this is drawing from email addresses, it's going to be a poor tool for targeting smaller communities inside of a larger metro area. And I'm just speaking from experience because I live in Dallas and I did a lookup just the other day for Grand Prairie, and Grand Prairie wasn't listed at all. Whereas Arlington, which is, the other side of the city street, loads and loads. So I don't know if there's a way in which they classify where they just roll them up into major cities, within a metro area, but don't.
It comes down to volume.
Small.
Yeah, it comes down to the volume.
Yeah,
it has to be volume. It's like, it's not the Federal Reserve, so they can't go print volume in a city there's nothing there, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that it'd be a poor fit if you're aiming to target a radius within a lower populated area, because it is going to be awful. It's going to be more miss than hit.
I hear you.
Well, thank you guys for being here on the call today. Chris, awesome presentation. And thank you everybody who is here who contributed to the conversation. I will say, if you aren't a part of the community, like I said, I am newer here on the scene. And I think that's one of the best values of being in this space, is that it is a community contribution where everybody kind of shows up with their own knowledge. And it adds a lot of value to the conversation. So thank you all for your contributions. There is a link to the Smart Cut in the chat that I just dropped a moment ago. And there is a link to sign up for the community in the chat as well if you want to get that 14-day free trial. And join us again. If you're not a member, you can catch us live again on Friday. And if you are a member, we will see you actually tonight on the AI governance call. Andrew is going to be leading that call tonight. And then tomorrow we will not have a Tuesday tools call because we have the challenge going on. So after that, it will be Wednesday evening with Wayne. You guys have a good day. And if you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the community, or you can message me directly as well. We appreciate you. Have a good one.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Great said.